Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today?
Good morning. Doing okay.
Good morning. Top of the morning, brother.
Good morning.
Does anybody like the Lido Shuffle? Anybody who sings that song?
Good morning, everyone.
I think that is a no. That's Boss Skaggs, in case anybody was wondering. Good time, old music. Right? I'm old, so you'll apparently hear some old music when I'm training. It's just how it is. But, usually has a good bass beat in the background to it, so it's all good. So my name is David Donaldson. I am the regional technology trainer for the Virginia's region. Some of you know me, some of you don't. You'll get to know me over the next couple of days, as well as some of my associates, what I call my market center tech trainers. So it's really important to understand that this is training. This is for you. This isn't for me, although I will occasionally run off the rails. I'll bloviate a little bit. I'll stand on my soapbox. I'll preach. I'll teach. But I'm passionate about everything that I do. And the first thing you're going to learn about me is that in order for me to stay and keep my energy up, there's something I need for each and every one of you. Anybody care to guess what that is? Being that right now, only 5 of you are doing it. Yes, as some of them joined, turn on your cameras, please. There's a lot of things that happen. We get to be multitasking individuals. We'll listen to people in the background. I'll somewhat pay attention to Dave. I'll somewhat pay attention to this class. I'll somewhat pay attention to whoever's training, whether it's me or anybody else. For the 2 hours that you're here with me, in order for me to know that you're getting and understanding where I'm coming from, I need to see your faces, right? I need to see reaction. I want you guys to ask questions. I want you guys to participate. Cameras off, microphones off, no questions. Then it's just me talking. And, it's something that I'm good at, but it can get boring and dry. And besides, if I do that all the time, some of my humor just goes all over everybody's heads and it doesn't connect. Right, Harry?
That is correct, brother. Trust me.
He's been with me long enough. He knows where I'm coming from. So I will do this every now and then. I'll say, hey, Jeb, Natalie, Charlene, Melissa, Bowling, Olga, Lusa, Caitlin, your favorite. There's cameras on. Now, if you're driving, get your curlers in, feeding the kids. I get it. Those things happen. But let's make that work, okay? For me and for everybody else for the week. All right, so now I've kind of put that out of the way. For 2 years now, we've kind of gotten used to this little square box that we call Zoom, right? Some of you are used to it, some of you are not. But here's what I'll encourage you to do. We have people from all around the Virginia's region, right? I've got people from Richmond and Roanoke and Lake Ridge and Leesburg and McLean and Falls Church and Ashburn. And I'm here locally. I'm in Virginia. So it's not like I'm coming to you from Austin, Texas. I live locally here in the region. Use the tools at your disposal. At the bottom of your screens, depending on where your navigation bar, you got a little bar. There's a participant list. Make sure you keep yourself muted. Sometimes you'll come off, right? And we'll hear a little background noise that's a little disruptive. I do encourage you guys to ask questions, right? Raise your hand. If you click on the 3 dots, or you'll see a little, there's annotations that you can use. And I'm going to turn that on. Not annotations, that's not what I wanted. Reactions, sorry. There's a reactions button, right? You guys all see the reactions button on your screen? There's 3 dots across the navigation bar. There's some reactions on the screen. Raise hands, hearts. Thank you, Barbara. Right? Thumbs up, thumbs down, cheerful cries. I can't believe this guy's going to make me engage like this, right? I can't believe this guy. I will call you. I'll call some of you on questions. So Ashante and Robert and Bolin and Olga and Julie and Caitlin and Lusa and Jeb, just because your cameras aren't on, don't mean that I won't try to call on you, right? Nobody's safe, right? Just saying it out loud. Nobody's safe, right, Laura? Now, on the other side of things, right? So that's raising your hands, and I'll come. Sometimes questions will be in line with what we're doing, and I'll knock those questions out. Sometimes I'll say, hey, do me a favor, throw your questions in the chat. So also across the bottom, you see chat. There's a little chat bubble, right? We'll share links through chat. I'll see questions through chat. I have, I don't see really, I see, oh, Caitlin's here. Some of my fellow market center tech trainers are here, or some of you may know the answers to some of those questions. Feel free to drop those into chat, and I'll make sure that I come back to them, and I'll pause every now and ask those questions too. If I ask for engagement, right, either raise your hand or open your mic. You can open your mic 2 ways, okay? You could click on your screen and click on the little blue box that pops up, says mute or unmute, Okay. A lot of people struggle with that. And they start talking, they forget to do that. Here's another little trick. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and mute myself. You can actually click on your screen if you're muted and hold your space bar down and it'll unmute you. And then when you let go, you're right now. So do you see what I did there, right? I was muted, I was covered. So you can click while you're muted, hold your space bar down and talk and then release. So that way you don't have to fumble around with those keys. So just little helpful tips and tricks here across Zoom land. Okay, so today is day one of a 5-day course. It's 9 to 11, Monday through Friday. We know that things happen. So here's what I'm going to kind of lay out for you guys. Every day, every session is going to be recorded. I'm going to tell you where it's recorded. And I guarantee you, and somebody's going to owe me money, that every single day, I'll get this question. What's the question I'm going to get? Lauren was laughing because maybe she knows. What's the question I will get every single day based on the information I just told you?
Is this going to be recorded?
There you go. Is this going to be recorded?
Will you send the recording to me? That's the other one, right?
That's right. So every now and then I'll just shout out bingo. And now those that were here early and on time will understand what I'm talking about. Right. So yes, this will all be recorded. I will give you the links for everything. We will email you the slide deck. Okay, for the links and the things that we go over each day, we will email that to you. You all registered for this class, and that's why we do it this way, so we know who was there, right? Doesn't mean anything, right? But it's for us to know that you went through training. You get a nice little certificate at the end. But we will email you links, slides, updates, content that's valuable for you to work on going forward at the each and every day. So that's the other question I always get. Can you send this to me? That'll be another bingo opportunity. Some of you will still choose to take pictures of the screen. Please feel free. This is proprietary. Throw your cameras up, do a print screen grab, right? Snippet, whatever you want to use. But I promise you, we will send you the PowerPoints. And everything will be recorded and posted. Sometimes recordings and postings take up to 24 to 48 hours. So give us time to get that and get that on our YouTube channel, which I will promise to share with you today. Okay, going into this, right? You saw the first slide deck said KW, the journey and the big why. Right, I'm going to kind of actually turn off my screen real quick because I like to. Somebody that have met me in person has kind of said, "Wow, you're not taller than I realized," because you don't realize how tall some people are until you actually get face to face with them. I'm quite tall, actually, right? I could go back and you don't know. I look small. The journey and the big why, right? KW has invested millions of dollars in this platform that we call Command. And there's a very good reason for that. I've been with our organization now going on, surprisingly enough, 14 years, 15 years. My God, 15 years this year. I got my license. So 13 years I've been with KW. In 2010, we rolled out a platform called eEdge. And so who's been with us more than 5 years with KW? Right. So some of you may be familiar when I say eEdge, or I might say .loop at some point in time, of a former platform that we utilize. Those platforms that we use were partnerships that we had with third-party organizations or what we call bolt-on technology. Here's the challenge with bolt-on technology. Everybody's for sale in the digital space. Everybody that has data has value in the digital space. Real estate is a market that they are drastically trying to interrupt and change with venture capital and put you all out of business. Some of you might have heard of a company called Zillow. Right? For a decade, they told us, we have no intention of being a broker, so give us all your data. So NAR agreed. Organizations agreed. Agents paid them billions. Guess what they are now? Anybody? Barbara knows.
Broker.
They're a broker. They're a broker in Virginia. Now, they screwed some things up last year because they thought they could gobble up a bunch of properties, and we realized how broken their estimates were, which is kind of comical, right? However, they are a threat. And here's how they are a threat to not just the realtors, regardless of what organization you're with, but specifically KW, because we are the largest real estate organization in the world. Okay. They bought the company that we had our original data bank with, Market Leader. Stripped it, right? And it died on the vine for us for a long time until they resold it in the public market. Then they bought our partnerships. That was shot one across the bow, KW and the real estate industry, right? Shot two was they bought our company company that we were partners with, a company called Loop. A lot of people are upset that we don't use Loop anymore. Loop was fantastic. I loved that platform. Great relationship. But I'll compare it to this. Has anybody had DirecTV in their lives? Like, I was a huge proponent of DirecTV. I lived in Arizona. I'm from Philadelphia. I'm true to my Flyers, Eagles, Phillies, and Sixers. Okay. So I watched them all the time. And from a football standpoint, the only place to watch, get the Sunday ticket was on DirecTV. Their customer service was amazing, bar none. I was a subscriber to DirecTV for 20 years. And they got bought out by AT&T. Guess what happened to their service? Down the tank. Guess who canceled DirecTV 2 years ago? I used to have a special number that I could call, and they would say, hey, Mr. Donaldson, you've been a valued customer of ours for 20 years. We appreciate you. What can we do to help you? And I would tell them what was wrong, and it would get fixed, dude. 2 years ago, I called them and said, hey, my dish is out of alignment. We had a storm, something else was going on. I can't get a signal. That's the problem with a dish, right? Yeah, it's going to be 9 days before we can get somebody to your location. Now, mind you, I live in Ashburn, Virginia. And don't take this the wrong way. I don't live in Winchester. I live in Front Royal. I don't live in Lake Ridge or Roanoke. We're out in the hills of West Virginia where there is no service. In Ashburn. 9 days? I don't think so. Get somebody out here, or I'm going to terminate my service. Okay, terminate your service. Boom, I was done. It was done. It was gone. Didn't care. That's big business. That's big business. They don't care about us. Here's the difference about real estate. And all that money and all that venture capital in the world can't take this away from you if you build a relationship. Relationships are everything. The value is your data bank. That's why they bought those systems. Contact information, transactional data. They bought showing time. They know when the houses are getting showed. They're in our MLS boards. They know when the houses are selling, what they're selling for. They bought databases. They have the ability to have contracts signed by clients, right? They are a legitimate threat, and they're not alone. Right? There are other organizations, right, that treat realtors like employees, not realtors, right? Look at Redfin. There's intrinsic value in relationship. There's unmitigated value in relationships. And the only person who owns those relationships are you, the realtor. So first, I want to say this. Bravo, and thank you for being an entrepreneur and jumping in and starting to build your own business. Most realtors don't look at it that way. Some still think it's a job. Oh, I work for KW. You really don't. You work for yourself. Your success is strictly based on what you do with the information that we provide you. Literally wrote the book on real estate, right? Anybody guys seen this? The red book, right? If you don't have this book, if you haven't read this book, do it. If you don't have one, tell your team leader that David Donaldson, the regional technology director, says, I need that book. Okay, and I'm looking at Laura. Go tell Sheila if she hasn't given you one, that Dave said give you a book. Okay, go get this book. And then I will also challenge you after you read this book. It's called Shift. Shift doesn't mean the market's changing or crashing. Sorry, doesn't mean the market's crashing. It means the market's changing. What does that mean to you and your business? You got to get educated, people. It matters. Awesome. MREA class after this. I love this. Great. Do it. Read that book. I don't know how many times. Somewhere there's actually a floating book around there that has all my notes in it, and somebody I borrowed and I never saw it again. So I now have the spiral bound version, which does not leave my home office, so nobody can borrow it. But here's what I can tell you about KW. We built Command. KW owns Command. You don't own your data, you own your data. Gary invested millions, okay, millions into Command so that it would never be at risk. Your data bank would never be at risk to be gobbled up by another company. We do partner with other companies, and they have to sign a data pledge which says this: we will work with you, we will partner with you. You cannot have access to our data that will cause harm to our associates. We will work together. If they will not agree to those terms, right? You're familiar with that, right? On your phone, you download an app and it says, we need access, for whatever reason, we need access to your pictures, we need access to your location, we need access to your phone number. And what do we all do? Okay. Sure. Yes, because I want to look like a cat, right? That's the world we live in. We've given away so much, and Gary is fighting for you. KW is fighting for you. More so in a lot of cases than you fight for yourself, whether you realize it or not. So with that being said, that's the journey. That's the big why that you have Command. That's why we build our own platform. That's why we don't no longer purchase a platform to give to you, but we will integrate our platform with others. So if you think of your cell phone, everybody have one of these? I think so at this point, right? I believe it or not, actually have a wall phone in my house. Funny story. I have an 11-year-old who's been screaming and crying for a phone for 2 years. So for Christmas, I bought him a phone I plugged into the wall. And he was not finding that funny, but I thought it was freaking hysterical. So anyways, that's me. That's who I am, right? It doesn't valid. He got a phone. He can call me when he needs me. Anyways, protect yourself, fight for yourself, but you got to be in the relationship business. And Command will allow you to do that. And Command will never be for sale. That I can assure you. And if you ever are in a situation where you have to transition, that data belongs to you 100% all the time. There are other brokerages out there that you can't get your data out of. They keep it. KW does not want that for you. We understand that sometimes people have to move on. And sometimes people are willing to come back, but why cut off our nose and spite our face? You earn that business, you keep that business. That's KW. All right, so I'm going to step off my soapbox for a little bit. Does that move you guys? Do you feel you guys learn anything from that? How does that make you think and feel about the company that you work for now or work with? Work for is terrible. Work with. Now's the time we hit that space bar and talk.
Said
Kelly, I'm looking at you, Kelly. Go ahead, Harry.
No, I was just going to say it's one of the founding reasons why I joined Keller Williams in the first place was because, we can build our own business, and Gary really does work hard to make sure that we have our opportunities and they belong to us, right, from the beginning all the way out. So, yeah, I think it's smart.
Anybody else have any thoughts around that?
Yeah, well, good morning. I also think it's reassuring to work for a company that thinks of you first. Most times you have companies who think of the bottom line and think of themselves first, rather than those who are really trying to get ahead, especially in a new business. So it's kind of reassuring to hear that. Thank you.
I'm glad you find it reassuring, but remember, you work with and not for, right? That's a mindset. That is a shiftable difference for you. It's your business. We're in business together.
Sure.
And it's a unique thing for a lot of people, right? You're not used to thinking that way. That's okay. We'll keep driving that home for you. It took me a little while to figure that out too. Okay. So what does that mean? Right, so you have Command, you've got this platform, right? And I referenced your cell phone, right? Because when you get your cell phone, very suddenly, if ever, maybe some of the Apple people are special. Apple people are specials. I know that. I'm not one of them, but Apple people are special. I have a Droid, in case you're wondering. When you get your phone, what do you usually do? You just plug it in, you charge it, you start utilizing it, you start downloading all kinds of apps that you may or may not know how to use, but you figure it out. For whatever reason, I haven't quite figured it out, but it's a different concept. But when people start plugging into our Command system, which in itself is a platform with what we call applets instead of apps, because it's kind of like a trademark thing. We call them applets. But people are paranoid to go in there and start working. They'll go to spend $1,000 on a phone, but this free device, this free platform, this free software we're giving you, people will pump the brakes and be scared to death to do anything. Please don't. Be confident in yourself. You cannot break this. Nothing you can do that can't be undone. Sometimes there's things we have to do to backpedal. Get comfortable. Throw yourself into it. Just try. It's relatively intuitive. The challenge for a lot of people, I think, is that we've taken a lot of things that you do in real estate business, right? And we've put them into one platform. And that itself can be overwhelming. So it's never hard. Most of what you're doing in Command is filling in blanks, setting up systems, setting up follow through, right? But it's overwhelming with how much there is. And for some people, it's easier to log into 12 different platforms to do things than to log into one that does 12 things. That's mindset, right? So if you've been in bold, you understand limiting beliefs and mindset. That's Command. Command will do everything you needed to do for the most part. And the great thing about it, and the biggest difference from when we were partnering with other companies, is that we literally improve it every single week. We're constantly rolling out changes, updates, and improvements. Some you notice, some you don't because they happen in the background. When you partner with another company, you're at the mercy of them, the decisions that they make. Our agents have direct impact on what's happening with Command. We do labs, we get feedback, people in the field submit ideas. And believe it or not, every Monday, Gary Keller, Carl Lieber, Chris Cox, right? They look at the ideas that our users submit every week and go, how much of an itch is this? How hard is it to do this? How many people are asking for this? Can we get this out? Is this necessary? Where's this out on our timeline? Those are conversations that are always happening. So Command is an unfinished and will always be an unfinished product. So therefore, you are consistently participating in a live beta environment at all times. It's a different way of looking at things. A lot of agents go, I don't care. I just want to do my business. I got you. I hear you 100%. But like anything else, and I'm not wearing my shirt today, but tech happens. Sometimes there's a pause and an error in the system. Things go down. How we react to that matters. We've got much better at that. Right? Our system, our downtimes are very limited. And on the other side of it, a lot of times because we do have to partner with some people, Google, Amazon World Service, right? Where's their data farms? When other systems go down that the world leans on, it affects our platform too. So get clarity around what's actually affecting your business and what's working and what's not. And for you to know who that is in your world, and I'm going to share my screen again now. I am the regional tech trainer for the region. Okay. I feel very honored that I was actually one of the first 32 people that held this position across KW's ecosystem worldwide. There are market center tech trainers, and I was one of the first people that held that position as well. Now, remember, I told you I started and have been a licensed realtor. So when I coach and train and talk to technology as leverage for your business, I talk to it from a real estate background, right? Been involved with, I don't even know how many transactions at this point. Okay. I don't really count them. Just know it's a lot. So I give you real life experience. And a lot of that is failed experience. I failed forward through a lot of experiences that I've done. But I've been fortunate to work with people and help them develop their businesses. And now KW has embraced this idea of not only having technology as a platform, but making sure that our associates have the support that they need. So part of this class is not just how to use the system, but it's where do you get help when necessary? And there are multiple ways to get help because we all learn differently. Did you guys know that KW is consistently one of the top education companies in the world? I'm not talking real estate. I'm talking about companies. I'm talking Forbes top 10, KW, leader in education. That's how seriously they take these things, okay? So what we've done, there are Market Center tech trainers that work within the program that I help oversee for the region. So on the screen, does everybody see the screen okay? There's a list of names on the screen. There's a list of screens. You'll see your Market Center name. You'll see your Market Center number. So if you don't know what it is, that's your Market Center number. That's the sequence of franchises awarded. We're actually now in the 11 and 1200s now. There are only 800 plus active Market Centers, but they don't reuse the numbers. There's over 1,200 that have been issued at the point because every office is individually owned and operated. It's a term you're going to get used to hearing. So know your Market Center name, know your Market Center number, okay? And the name next to that is your Market Center Tech Trainer. Now, let me see if you guys were listening earlier. Give me a digital thumbs up if you know your Market Center Tech Trainer. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Roberta, digital thumbs. Right? That's why we covered digital thumbs in the beginning. You too, Melissa. I saw you kind of snake that in there. 3 dots, right? Emojis. Ups and down. There you go. Thank you, Olga. I know you guys won't always do that, but I like to have fun and kid because I want you guys to get comfortable with the systems and the platforms that you have at your disposal. Awesome. Charlene, thank you for being honest. Right, that's great. So find this person, get to know this person. If you haven't met them or heard from them, find out who they are in your market center. Okay, and if you're in Falls Church, that's me. So some of you are just blessed. The rest of you, so much. I don't know what to tell you. Right, there's mostly talent on this list, mostly. They are your person. They're your person, right? So at the end of this week, you're going to have a one-on-one with them, or you should. meet with him. If I have Greenbrier's number wrong, that's quite possible. I make mistakes. I'm not infallible. Jerry is the Greenbrier guy. He's fantastic. Okay. Meet with them. They're going to help you fill in the gaps. They're going to support the training that you have going forward. They're going to work with you one-on-one. They're going to take you to the next level if you do everything we talk about this week. Okay. Get to know them. They're going to be your BFF of your first 100 days, right? And your PC coach if you have one. Right? PC coaches will know command as well as your Market Center tech trainer. And for those that are in PC programs, they're going to work with you to build your businesses too. So those are the two people in your world that you're going to want to work with and get to know the most of it going forward. Any questions on your Market Center tech trainers? Understanding the platform of who to go to in your Market Center to get support.
Jonathan, is there anyone covering Woodbridge? I didn't see Woodbridge right there.
Manassas, right? That's what Manassas. That would be Kyle Holler and Harry. That's your turf. Harry's a PC coach down there. So if you can't find Kyle, find Harry. He's actually on this call, or he was. All right, moving on. So first thing, because this is a little bit of a workshop, okay? Let's get rolling. First thing I want you to do, if you haven't done it already, we're going to download 2 mobile apps on your cell phone. Okay, there are 2. So everybody get your phones out. Go to your Google Play Store or that other store, that Apple thing. Go to that Apple store. Okay, you may have done this already. If you have, that's okay. We're going to talk through it anyways because not everybody has. The first app I want you to look up is KW Realty, KW Real Estate. Boy, I can talk. It's Monday, not enough coffee. That is going to be a search app. It's the ability for you and your consumers to search for real estate. Okay, KW Realty app. It's white with red KW. There you go, John. Perfect. Get it. Download that puppy. That is your search app. Okay, that's the app. And we'll talk a little bit more about it probably tomorrow or later today on the consumer side of things about how to share it and how to use that thing. We've all probably used at times Zillow or Redfin to search for property. You're going to want to incorporate this into your arsenal and get this in the hands of every single person in your world. And every day this week, I'm going to ask you to share that with at least 10 people. But you got to get comfortable with it yourself. So when you log in, it's going to ask you to create an account. And this is important that you create an account that's separate from who you are. It doesn't know that you are Harry Hasbun, the realtor. Okay. When you create and download this app, it just knows that you're Harry Hasbun and you're creating a search app. Okay. To look for real estate. It's for the consumer. It's not for the realtor. It benefits you because you're going to have some insight of what's going on. And we'll talk about that. But it does not know that you are you. A lot of people trip up over that. So when you log in and create an account, it's not going to know that you're a realtor. So what you have to do after you create an account, because it'll prompt you to do so, on the bottom right-hand side of the screen, it says more. You all see that more button? All right, click the more button. When you scroll down or at the top of that page, you're either going to A, see yourself already selected, or B, you're not going to have any agent selected. Or some people have had other agents selected, and that's okay too. You need to select yourself. You got to go in and choose yourself as your realtor. I know that sounds funny to say, I'm Lauren St. George, and I need to select Lauren St. George as my realtor. That's just how the system works. It's agnostic. Doesn't know that you're the realtor. That once you have chosen a realtor, which you would choose yourself, and hey, by all means, if you want to choose me, I'm cool with that. All right, I'm good. Melissa's not going for my humor. Go for it. Make sure you choose yourself, okay? Because when you share it with people, it'll brand you to them and they won't have to search for you in the future. Lauren, you got a question?
Yeah, so I was I have the command app already, and I was trying to log in with the credentials.
Let me stop you there. This is not the command app. This is the KW Real Estate app.
Oh, yes.
There are 2 different things, and that,
Yes.
but it's a distinguishable difference.
Yes. So I have both.
Awesome.
When we get there, I'll ask about this because the credentials aren't seeming to work.
The credentials on command.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, so your credentials, and that's, thank you for bringing that up, and we'll talk to that in a second. Sometimes you just might need to do a reset. But when you create a login for KW Real Estate, it is not the same login as logging into Command or MyKW or KW Connect, because it's not part of your business. So it will be, unless you give it the same password, which you might, it is a separate platform. Just like your email, when we talk that, will be a separate platform with a separate email address. Okay. Anything you log in as provided you by KW Command at desktop, KW Command on mobile, right? KW Connect, KW.com. Those are all our user ID and password, which are the same. Your real estate app is separate. So outside of downloading it right now, one of your action steps for today will be play with it. Look at properties, search properties, pick properties, do everything you can with that app. You have to throw yourself into this. You have to get comfortable using this. If you want your consumers to use it, which I assure you, you do. You do not want them sending you links to Zillow and Redfin, which they will do anyways, but you got to get in the habit of getting this in their hands so that you make them the center of the transaction, right? The consumer is the center of your world, and it will give you data and information that will make your job a lot easier. So it's important that you're comfortable with the device, you're comfortable with the app, right? Just like you would download something else on your phone, figure it out. We'll answer questions, of course we will. You got to be proactive. I will talk a lot about you guys being self-advocates. You have to be. I cannot answer every single question for you. You have to be driven. You have to go out and work on these things. We'll solve things. We'll help fix things. Sometimes there's glitches and bugs. We'll work with you on that too. But you got to be proactive for yourself and your business. Is that fair? Awesome. All right. Does everybody now at least have that downloaded? KW Realty, white app, white box, red KW. Everybody's good there. Can I get your thumbs up, digital thumbs up? I just did that, right? Digital thumbs up.
What I have is a KW command. Is that the same thing?
No.
That's what is pulling up for my.
So type in and search for KW Realty. Do not search for command. There are two different apps, and we're going to write. There's a white one and a red one. Thank you, Natalie. The white one with the red letters is the real estate search app that is consumer based. The other one I'm going to tell you to download next is KW Command. It's red with white letters, and that's going to plug into your platform. That's going to be your command on the grow. That's my trademark. You hear command on the go? Dave says command on the grow because you're growing your business. Okay. I got to get a little trademark in place for that. So I don't know who was asking that, but yes, the one you want that we're talking about right now is search based. Okay. And if your name is not in the system yet, your name is going to be searchable by whatever's on your license. Because I know some of you have legal names that are different by the names that you go with. And depending on if your market center has processed your paperwork, because some of you are here before you have your licenses in place, it may not show up yet. Right. So if you're not in your system yet as a licensed realtor, but you're training, that's fine. But the system won't see you unless your market center has 100% processed by your paperwork. Those are things I can't work on. If you cannot find yourself. Who should you go talk to? If you can't find yourself on your app, who should
Market
you go?
Center Tech.
Yes, thank you. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Your Market Center Tech trainer. When in doubt, talk to your Market Center Tech trainer, okay? Or your team leader, or your MCA, or your PC. Right? They all know how to do these things. Or your ASC, or your DFI, or any ALC member. They should all know how to do those things, right? But there's always people in your market. You are not on an island when it comes to these things, okay? You have tons of support. If you ever feel overwhelmed that you're not getting support, please just look around. There is somebody there for you, okay? All right. The next app that you need to download, if you haven't done it already, is the red one, KW Command. Now, when you download KW Command, the red one with the white letters, that will be logged in with your KW user ID and password. Okay. Now, if you're brand spanking new, you may or may not yet have received an email from KWRI welcoming you that where they gave you a user ID and a password that is probably hard to remember. So look in your inbox for that. And then maybe if either your market center or a company called Scott Leroy, which most of your market centers have partnered with, that may have done set up for you, they might have changed your password, right? So look for an email from Scott Leroy, your market center, and see if there was a password reset. The third option, which we will show you next, is I will show you how to manually change your password as well, which should take care of all of that. And if by chance I'm lying and it doesn't, I'm going to have you reach out to your market center tech trainer and they'll get it rectified for you, because sometimes they just need to be refreshed on the back end, because that happens. Thanks, Angela. Perfect. Caitlin will be a great go-to for that. All right. So has everybody, it's show me digital thumbs up now, downloaded both of these apps? 2 of you. There you go. Catching up. Awesome. Fantastic. So you got these 2 apps now. You're going to play with these apps over the next couple of days, but you're going to start today. And what I'm going to tell you at the end of the action steps is that on that more button on your KW Realty app, not the command app, the Realty app, okay, you're going to share that with 10 people. And if you actually click on more right now and click share, it's going to be a little weird because it's basically going to say, hi, Dan, I wanted to share with you the app from my realtor, David Donaldson, and it's going to have a code and a link. Now, the reason that'll be weird because if it's me, David Donaldson, sharing this with Dan, Dan's going to be like, why is David talking about himself in the third person? That's a little odd. The reason it's written that way is because it's for your consumers to share with other people. Sure, agents will share it, but it's really written to make their lives easier to share it with other people for you on your behalf. So that's why it says it that way. And remember, it's a text message. So when you click share, that text message window will pop up. You can just click in there and change the verbiage so it sounds like it's coming from you. You have to do that every time because you can't change the default message for yourself. But depending on your phone device, you can actually create what's called a hotkey for a text where you take that code, you write something, and then boom, you're just sending it to people. Because here's what I will tell you. In order to get the maximum usage for getting people in your world to utilize that app is to personally send it to them, whether it's a Facebook, IM, a text message, IM, through Instagram. If you just put it as an email signature, download my app, or we use things called smart buttons, download my app, they ain't doing it. But if you send them specifically a message and say, hey, I'm in real estate, this is my personally branded real estate app, and here's the kicker, it works everywhere. It doesn't just work in Virginia. It works everywhere, right? I can search for properties in Canada, Mexico, California, Costa Rica, Bahamas, London, okay? I can use it anywhere. I can be in Germany and search for properties in Delaware. I just did that. I had a client buy a house, sight unseen in Delaware from Germany using my mobile app, okay? So open up your minds that this mobile app is value for them, and it's going to be value for them because for you too, because you're going to see everything they're looking at, and it's going to trigger the idea for a conversation around referrals, which we'll talk about later, about, hey, I've got people in my world that aren't local to me, but can buy property anywhere. And you know what the second biggest source of income for real estate agents are besides buying and selling real estate?
Referral.
Referrals, right? So in our world, I can refer my clients, whether they're local to me or not, to somebody else and ask for a referral fee. Right? My last 5 commission checks, because I do more training and coaching than selling now, has been through referrals. I just referenced, I had a client from Germany buy a house in Delaware. I just closed on 2 houses in Pennsylvania, which was a buy-sell transaction. Right? Those are my last 3 in the last 30 days. You can establish a relationship with the people in your world, no matter where they live, because they will think of you as a realtor and they will ask you questions. If this hasn't happened, this will happen to you. Hey, Dave, I'm selling my house. My realtor says X. What are your thoughts? Am I allowed to answer that question? Oh, I can't really help you. Now, if I had referred them to Agent X, the relationship's a little different. I can comfortably return them back to Agent X. Say, hey, or even reach out to Agent X. Say, hey, this question came across my dashboard. There's somebody else involved. I can't help you. So take a proactive approach to the people in your world, regardless of where they live. Because if they are living in California, searching for property in Hawaii, you're going to know it. And then you can call an agent and share that. So you'll be good to go there. All right, so get those two downloads. Shindu, if you just search for KW space realty, it'll pop up, I assure you. White with red KW letters. If you continue to have trouble, stick it around or connect with somebody in Mark Center, and we'll make sure that you get that because it is important. So, any questions on these two apps so we can move forward? We good?
I have a question with permission.
Of course,
So-
Eric.
What happens if you have fat fingers and you accidentally type in the wrong email address into your profile and it won't let you change it? Is there a mechanism to do that, or do I have to delete it and start over?
If you go under more, you can change your account.
I am under more and it won't let me.
You're talking about on the KW Realty app?
Yes. I went into my profile. It'll let me change my password. It will not let me change my email.
It should. Without looking at it face to face.
Yeah. Just you get. Does that even matter when I'm sending it to the clients?
Well, it does for the client because when they create an account. So it's a great question. Here's what will happen. What will happen is that when they create an account, you'll get a notification inside of command that, hey, Harry created an account and here's his email address and phone number. And if they put in the wrong email address, you've got the wrong email address.
Right. I have the wrong email address.
And you won't be able to email them.
Okay, good. Wow. No wonder my business has slowed down a little.
I'm just saying. Yeah, of course, consumers make mistakes, right? But that'll take us into the future conversations because this is a relationship business that when you're talking to those consumers, right? If you had somebody that created an account, what should be the first thing that you do when you receive a notification that they created an account? And thanks for asking the question, Harry, because it stems into the conversation of what we're going to talk about all week. What should you do if you saw that you have a new account or a new download in your system?
Text or email them back or call them.
What's more powerful?
Phone call.
There you go. Don't be scared of the phone, people. Using the phone is a lost art, and I will tell you, and I get it because I'm one of these people who're scared to death of the phone. You will leverage technology and leverage yourself right out of business if you don't get comfortable on the phone. Sure, some people will only respond to text, and I get that. Doesn't mean you shouldn't call them, right? You're in the relationship business. Do not be a secret agent. Okay, you're not James Bond. You're a realtor. Okay. You have to talk to people. You have to get comfortable talking to people. If you give them a reason not to talk to you, they won't. They won't respond to email. They won't respond. They might respond to text. Leave them a message, and in the message say, hey, I'm going to follow up with an email just to make sure. I saw that you downloaded my mobile app and created an account. Thank you. I want to make sure that's working the way for you. Okay. I'm going to send you an email to the email address in your account just to make sure everything's working. If you don't receive this, let me know. That's how you confirm data. Especially if it's people that's already in your world, right? Somebody brand new that gets a little trickier, but the conversation is the same. Does that sound good, Harry?
Yep, sounds good. And I just deleted it and redid it, and that's the end of that problem. So we're good.
Fantastic. We do that too. Awesome. All right. So we're moving in. So I'm going to, every day, I want you to be logged in. Now, if you're on a solo screen, I know it's hard. Minimize my smiling face, right? Because I want you to see your dashboard. You can hear my voice, but I want you to see your dashboard. We're going to walk through the next couple of settings because there's going to be some things for you guys to do. Again, this is recorded. You're going to have these links. You can go back. I do not expect you to get everything done today for the sake of time, but I do like to show you where these things are so you can take care of business. I referenced a couple of platforms, which I will give you the links for, you will email. We still are transitioning away from one platform to another. So you have multiple profiles that don't all talk to each other yet. So there's a little bit of work and setup that you guys got to do from a cleanup standpoint. Okay. So first and foremost, what I want you to all to do is log in to mykw.kw.com. mykw.kw.com. Put it in chat, mykw.kw.com. I want y'all to log into that screen right now. Okay. That is your old E-Edge platform. And it'll look like, does everybody see it on my screen right now? You will probably seldomly, if ever, log in here again. to be completely honest with you. But there's a couple things we need to do in here to make sure that your business is configured properly to make everything else run. So is thumbs up, is everybody on this screen? Or do you have no intention of doing this right now? That's entirely up to you. I can't force you. Log into this screen, okay? mykw.kw.com. You're going to use your KW user ID and password. Now, right next to your picture, which you may or may not have a picture yet, but you'll see your name, is a profile word. I want you to click on the word profile, please. All right. From the profile page, you can see a red screen pop up. Okay. Give that a second. It's called the KW white pages. No, why did it jump there? Profile. There we go. Should look like this. May or may not have your picture on the upper left-hand side if it hasn't been loaded yet. It'll say what market center you belong to. As you can tell, I have a lot of roles in a lot of different positions. But you'll see it right at the top, upload agent photo. Guys, you gotta get, guys and girls, you gotta get a photo. I get it, it's uncomfortable. I don't put them on business cards, I'm gonna be clear about that, but I do have an online presence because people will look you up. I think it's valid and dangerous and scary at the same time for people to know what you look like. So I won't tell you that you have to, but I do want you to give some consideration to what does your online presence look like. I will never tell you you have to, but there's some value there. So have conversations, get comfortable with that, okay? One way or the other, and then cool, I'm good with you. Make sure all this information is filled out as best as possible, okay? Again, we're just filling in the blanks here. Name, phone number, email addresses. Please make sure your address in here is not your home address. Some of you work from home, and I get that. And that may even be your licensed home business, and I get that too. Please, for the sake of safety of yourselves, always put your business address online. Last thing you want, and this would be the accident, and this has happened, that a consumer will show up at your home residence for an appointment because the address that you put somewhere online as your business address accidentally was your home address. So for your safety, even if you never go into your office, always, always, always put your office address into all your online business profiles. Y'all get that, right? It's me looking out for you because that's important. Safety's first. We all know the horror stories. Things happen. I want to mitigate that as much as possible, okay? Phone number, bio. Bios are important, so write this down, right? That bios are important. That's going to be another action step for you guys, okay? So when you go into your bios, okay, there's, let me think of the best way to explain it. So digital thumbs now, who has a resume? Maybe written a resume at some point in time, right? Resumes are typically, we tell you to, hey, one page bulleted, right? Bios are different because they're more paragraph, but I usually tell people to look at a resume that they have because that starts to tell the story, and then you kind of create and control a narrative out of that. And here's what's awesome, people. I don't know how many of you are brand new to KW versus brand new to real estate, right? Because we have a lot of new licensed people joining us. Here's the kicker. The most successful, I want you to think of the most successful person you know in real estate. I don't know who it is. I know a couple. I know a lot, actually, that do a lot more than I do, that I value and look up to, that I will never do the transactional account that they do. But here's the thing. It's not that I can't, okay? Because you can, you all can. And we all started at the same exact place. You know where that is? Anybody? How many transactions did the most business-driven realtor that you know start with when they got their license?
0. Rookie.
Well, 0, right? So if they did it, so can you. You're never too late. Treat your business like a business. And then you have no idea how far that can grow if you follow the systems, models, and tools of everything that we show you to do. It's entirely up to you. It's as big as you want it to be. That's fact. It's been proven time and time again. Okay. I know realtors in this business have been done in their second year doing $20 million a year because they did everything that they were coached to do. Just do it, people. And if that's not you, right, this is a side hustle, you still treat it like a business. I don't care if your goal is to do 5, 6, 10 transactions a year. Still treat it like a business. Don't treat it like a hobby. You get yourself into trouble. Scalability is entirely up to you. You don't have to build a team. All right. I've seen questions about iPhone. If you're talking about doing this on your iPhone, I don't recommend it. Okay, here's what I recommend. Any of these setup things, I'm going to recommend you do from your desktop, because these are platforms. These aren't necessarily mobile devices. And if you're going to try to do it from your phone, you're going to have to make sure that you're on the full website version of the page, which may or may not show up the way that it is, and everything's going to be truncated. So these setup things should be done from your desktop. It's just going to make your life a little bit easier. So I hope that helps, Laura. You're not going to want to, tablets and phones function differently than desktops. So platforms at the desktop version functional, they're not all adaptive for screen size. Here's another little thing that I'm also going to tell you that's really important for you Apple people. Chrome is not our friend. Or, I'm sorry, Safari is not your friend. Chrome is your friend. Firefox is your friend. Apple's platform, while good in security, doesn't make friends with a lot of the other business world. I hate to surprise you, but it's facts. Apple doesn't play nice with everybody. They don't play well in the sandbox. Their platforms are challenging on some of the open markets. So you're going to have to be careful that when you're working on certain things, that you're probably going to be best suited to make sure that you download Chrome on your desktop or even your phone and work on Chrome versus Safari. A lot of times, most times when people say, I can't access this, I'm not seeing that, it's because they're on Safari and not Chrome or Firefox. So when you're troubleshooting and you're running into issues, think about the things that we're talking about today. Self-advocate for yourself. Are you in Chrome? Always ask yourself that first. Yep. Sorry, John. Can't comment on that. But that's facts. All right, so let me go back to bio real quick. So when you're writing your bio, you're going to tell a story about yourself. Right. And if you're brand new to real estate, that story is different because you don't have a transactional history. And that is a limiting belief for a lot of people. Nobody's going to work with me. I've never done anything before. That's crap. They will. They need a reason to connect with you. So complete online profiles, bios, stories, websites, all the things we're going to give you at your disposal will set you apart. And the moment you get your license, people are going to think you know more than you do. Own that. Fake it till you make it. It's all good, right? But when you're telling your story, give them a reason to connect with you. Doesn't have to be, hey, I've done XYZ, a rookie of the year, because you aren't yet. And only one of those goes out, right? However, connect with them. Where'd you go to school? Where'd you grow up? What are your hobbies? What do you do? What are you involved with? What previous careers did you have? Right? Were you stay-at-home mom? That's an incredible position. Were you stay-at-home dad? It's an incredible profession because it is, right? Were you in the military, right? Did you go to college? Did you go to high school? Did you go to trade school? Did you live in Arizona? Did you live in Pennsylvania? Did you live in Florida? Did you live overseas? Were you a teacher? Right? Is your spouse in the service? All these things are connectable and tell your story. So be honest with yourself about who you are so you can connect with people. Because when they look you up online is the first place they're going to do, you want them to feel like, oh, that's awesome. I used to do that. I was a teacher. I worked in hospitality. Right? That's where I came from. I came from hospitality. I was an investor first. Right? I owned 8 properties ever before I got into real estate. Your bio should be 4 to 6 paragraphs, give or take. Let it be yours. Don't limit it. Because here's the cool thing about that. And you beat me to the punch, so thanks for asking the question. Then when I tell you to have a bio, I'm actually probably going to tell you to have 3. But I always tell you to write the long form first, 4 to 6 paragraphs. Maybe it's more, right? But think about it like this, because depending on where you're putting that bio, because there may be character count restrictions, your website's going to allow you to have a full-length bio. Perfect. Right? Some mobile applications or websites or free applications will give you about 4 to 6 sentences or 1 paragraph. So that intro paragraph, so basically tell me as much about you as I can, and then the supporting paragraphs will go into more detail about what I learned in paragraph 1. And then paragraph 1 should be able to be restricted down to 156 characters. Why do I say 156 characters? Kristen, do you know why? See your hand raised, so maybe you knew. Oh, okay, she disappeared on me. The reason I say 156 characters because certain apps, Facebook, Twitter, restrict what'll show up on the mobile app, right? So Twitter, you get 156 characters, right? So on my Twitter profile, it says dad, golf, hockey, realtor. That's me in 4 words. So my full-length paragraph bio is 4 to 6 paragraphs. I have an intro paragraph on some platforms that tells a story about me, and then I could summarize that down into 156 characters. So thank you for asking, Raquel. That's how I break down bios. Start long form, make a great intro paragraph, and then be able to summarize that up in 4 or 5 words. That'll make up 156 characters. Sound good? Awesome. All right, so the rest of this, you're going to want to fill out. If you have questions about any of these specific cells, I'm going to steer you back to your Market Center Tech Trainer. They'll give you a little bit of clarity on some other things in here. But you can put your social media profiles in here. You may see some default stuff because your Market Centers will do that for you until you have those pages. Here's things you're going to have at a minimum in order to work successfully. You have to have a Facebook profile, personal page. And then you're going to want to have a Facebook business page in order to do some of the things we're going to talk about later. If you don't, that's okay. They can help you. You can look it up online. They're not hard to set up. And then from there, people say, well, what about Instagram? What about Pinterest? What about LinkedIn? What about Twitter? What about Snapchat? What about TikTok? There's a lot of them, and there's going to be more. Here's what I'll tell you. Facebook, while it is diminishing, the largest percentage of people that are buying real estate are still utilizing Facebook. The newer generations are using other things. But be you. You can't be you on all platforms. And that voice, your digital twin, is different on every platform. So if you're going to create platforms and profiles, go crazy. Make sure your profiles are complete on every platform that you're on. Bio, contact information, website, photo, right? How they get a hold of you. Make sure that's consistent on every platform. And if you change, I tell people twice a year, you should probably go look at those things, do a Google search for yourself, see what you look like, and see how you show up online. Because that's what the consumers are doing. And don't do it from your computer, do it from another computer, because your computer is going to have cookies and show you what you want to look. So you're going to want to go to another computer to see what you actually look like in the eyes of the consumer. Okay. One other thing I will point out on this page that's important, put the languages that's spoken in here, because realtors will look for people that speak certain languages. So will the consumers. Okay. Put in where it says display your URL for KW, put your name in this box, just your name. Don't get fun with the world's best realtor, #1 realtor in Gainesville, #1 realtor in Virginia. Virginia, Dave loves Virginia. Don't do that, please. This isn't a domain. This is put your name. Just be yourself. Even if you're running a team or you're on a team, this is a spot for your name, because KW will push your name. The power of the brand is important of KW, that you will surface. You will see free sites, KW, Zillow, Realtor.com, right? Homes.com. Right? Active Ring, all kinds of free profile places because they want you to buy things from them. But there's value in having your name and recognition because they will populate your name to the top of the Google search boards for free. So use your name because that's how people will look you up. Sound good? Be you. All right. And at the bottom of this page, there's a password recovery email and an email. So the email address that I'm going to show you how to set up and get right now is the email that you're going to use in your everyday business. Okay. The recovery email is what happens if I get locked out and I need to do a reset. They're going to send a reset to some email. So I send that to a different email address than I use my everyday email. Let's pause for a second because I think emails are important to have a conversation. I'm going to stop share. And I want you to be honest with this next question because there's no wrong answer until I explain it. But I want to ask you this. Do you use Gmail for your business? World's best realtor at gmail.com. Dave Donaldson at gmail.com. Dave Donaldson at yahoo.com. Dave Donaldson at AOL. Superstar sells Virginia at xyz.com. Hotmail, Livewire. Nobody's being honest. And some of you are lying to yourselves and to me. Right? Who uses an uncompany, uses what I call free mail? Gmail, AOL, Hotmail, Yahoo. Those are all free email services, right? That's not professional. I'm going to be real with you guys for a minute, okay? Do I have permission to be real? Nobody? I can't be real with you? Okay. You're business owners. You got to act like it. Freemiums, $3.99. And believe me, I love free. I'm all about free. I'll never tell you to spend money if you don't have to. Okay. But your brand matters. Your personal brand matters. Your professional brand matters. At Gmail, at Livewire, at Yahoo says, I'm not taking this seriously enough. Okay. So if you're doing that, I challenge you to stop. So there are 3 types of emails. The free ones, what we just covered, which may have not really thought about it, but now you know. You're going to change that. 2, KW gives you a KW email, daviddonaldson@kw.com. We give it to you. Here's the cool thing. Our KW email address is Gmail, but it's branded to a real estate company. It lets the world know you're a realtor. It lets the world know that you work for KW. It lets the world know that you are a professional. Do you see the difference between KW and Gmail? Anybody think I'm full baloney and don't buy what I'm selling? Anybody afraid to call me out? All right. There's a third option. Okay. Now, the KW email address you have is free to you also. So I'm all about free, but there's degrees of value, right? So Gmail, free mail, no good. KW, good. Okay. The third one is personally branded email. So you see here, I have a revolutionary.net email. So as a realtor, okay, as a solo realtor, you are either David Donaldson Realtor, and you cannot be anything else at all. Like Harry has alreadyhometeam.com, and I don't know if this to be true or not, but I'm going to tell you something for all of you to understand. You can't all of a sudden wake up tomorrow and be like, hey, I'm the Donaldson Real Estate Group. You cannot do that. Okay. I'm not a broker. I'm here looking out for you, but I'm telling you right now, people have been fined for having fun with words and making themselves look like something that they are not, which is essentially just a standalone brokerage. However, if you are a team, okay, if you are a team, do you know what constitutes a team in the eyes of the Virginia Real Estate Board? Anybody? You plus administrative support. That's it. You don't have to have a buyer's agent. You don't have to have a seller's agent. You don't have to have 10 agents. Thank you, Brittany. This is more than tech, right? I coach to more than tech because I'm here to protect your brand, your image, right? Once you've decided to become a team, you have to become a company. You have to be an LLC. You cannot just wake up and decide to start marketing yourself as something. You're gonna get in trouble. They'll take your license, right? Right, the Varela team, that's right. Robert Varela and Associates, LLC, to be more correct. Right there, John? So think about it. Talk to your broker. This is recorded, so I always make sure to point this out that this is recorded. You can never go back and be like, Dave says. No, Dave says, talk to your broker, talk to your TL. Before you file papers of incorporation, before you pay for that LLC, before you buy signs, before you get business cards, before you buy a domain, talk to your broker. There's legalities there. And what has to happen is this. You may decide to become Donaldson Real Estate Group. Awesome. Let your broker know. They're going to give you paperwork to do. That paperwork has to be signed by your broker. You have to have an LLC. You have to have a checking account. You got to go to the Virginia Corporation Commission file. Then you have to send that to Richmond. Richmond has to update your license. The license has to come back to your market center. And only then can you legally market yourself anything other than who you are, which is David Donaldson or David Donaldson Realty. Does that make sense? Now, does that mean that today I can't go out and buy a Donaldson Home Group? No, because nobody can stop you. It just means that if you start marketing yourself that way and somebody files a complaint to the board, you're going to get a fine. They don't give warnings. They're like speeding tickets. If you got caught, they're going to send you a fine. Then you have to go to the board and defend yourself. And they get quite expensive. I know agents that have done that. I know agents that have spent up to $1,000 in fines. Don't do that. Ask the right questions. Talk to your broker. Don't assume. Who knows what happens when you assume? Anybody? My dad's favorite.
Assumption is the mother of all.
Jeb, we're going to need earmuffs over there, right? We're talking about assume now, right? So I saw kids on the screen. We need earmuffs. Right? Ass out of you and me. don't do that. Right. I don't want you to be an accidental victim, because that more times than not, it's the lack of education and understanding that puts people in trouble. That's why I said you're not on an island. Talk to your broker, talk to your team leader, and get clarity over anything you're going to do. All right. Now, what I want to do next now, because I just kind of beat in your head the importance of emails, I'm going to show you how you have your KW email, okay? How do you know if you have one? You may or may not know already, right? But I'm going to show you where it sits and how to access it, okay? So from the mykw.kw home screen, there's a word technology. Now, do not click the word technology. Everybody likes to jump ahead and just start clicking things. Don't click the word technology. Hover over the word technology. Hover and go down to KW email. So we're on mykw.kw.com. We're hovering over the word technology. Wait, am I not sharing my screen? Hold on, sorry. Go back to this. See, if I'm doing something wrong, you gotta let me know. I make mistakes too, all the time. Screen now. All right, hover over the word technology. You see this drop down will happen, and then you'll see KW email. Remember, they told you the KW email, you got to still Gmail, but you're going to make sure it's set up. Okay. Somebody's in the bathroom. All right. When you get to this email page, if you already have your email address, you know what it is. You just click on manage your KW email. If you don't know if you have an email address, you can actually click sign up. I know I have one, but when you click sign up, it says, oh, you already have one. Okay, great. Show me my email accounts. If you don't have one, it'll say create, right? And you'll put your name in there. Again, don't get funny with emails, please. Make your email, even if you're on a team, John, right? Still make it your name at kw.com, right? This is for you. It's an authentication piece. And if you're on a team, you may or may not use this in your business, and that's okay, right? Because your Rainmaker may provide you an email platform that they use, which is completely legit and okay, because they are incorporated as a business. So therefore, they can give you a team branded email address like I just referenced. But you should always have a KW email address for yourself, because we use it for a lot of different things. So your name, just like mine, David Donaldson at kw.com. That's what I created. That's my KW email address. That's what yours should be, not David Donaldson. That's taken, but you know what I'm saying there, right? This isn't like Animal House. I state your name. You put your actual name there, okay? And then down there, you can create a password. This password is for your email address. It's not for command. It's for your email address, because when you go to your email, where are you going to log in to get your email? Are you going to go to MyKW, or you're going to go somewhere else?
Gmail.
Boom, Gmail, right? Because that's what I said. Your KW email is Gmail. So when you set your password here, you're just setting your Gmail email account, okay? And then below there is that recovery email, which we covered earlier. You just want to make sure that those are the same, or if you want to change, you can do that. Now, once you've created your account, saved your email, it says log into Google Apps, or you can just go to google.com, or you can go to gmail.com. It does not matter to me, but I want you to do that right now. Okay. I want you to all go to either click on log into Google Apps, or I want you to go to gmail.com or google.com. It doesn't matter. Please, everybody, do that now. Just a second to load up. Anytime I'm streaming, my desktop is slower on my bandwidth than streaming.
Where is that under? I'm sorry.
Well, did you go to the KW email platform and set that up?
I went through the KW program. Yeah.
So when you were on it's here. So on this manage your email button, right below, you can either click and log into Google Apps, or you can just go to gmail.com, which is probably what you're going to do forever going forward. Because as I told you in the beginning, once you set up your KW profile on mykw.kw.com, you probably won't ever go in there again. So get in the habit of just accessing your email by going to Gmail. Sound good? Everybody with me? All right. So on the upper right-hand side of your screen, because the first time you come in, it'll probably go to a personal account if you've had a personal account before, right? And or it's going to ask you to log in. So I'm actually going to sign out of all my accounts. and then I'm gonna log in. So what you're going to do is you're gonna land on the Gmail login screen. Okay, you got to know what your Gmail password is that you just created in KW. So make sure you have that down. Okay. Now it's going to say choose an account or add another account. And you see my KW is already there, but for you, it's not there yet. So use another account. Type in your KW email address. Type in the password that you created. See, when you have multiple passwords, you do that. You forget what they are. And then you're in your email account. Now, once you're in your email account, if you use one of those free accounts like Gmail, you could forward that to here because people may have that in your world. Check with your Market Center Tech Checkers. I'm not going to go forwarding and everything here, but they can help you forward that email address to here. You can set up an auto reply so the consumer doesn't ever experience a change in the email that they're used to receiving from you. That can all be done under your settings. All right. Now, the last thing I want to show you from your My KW, I'm just going to go back to the KW home screen, is under technology. Okay. There's a change password. So I'm back to My KW again, mykw.kw.com. There's a change password. This change password is your KW password. It is not your email. It is your KW password. So you click on change password. It's going to ask you to change your password. So if you've never logged in here before, or if you're not sure, right, or somebody changed it, or you want to change it, you can do it right here. This will update your KW password across all your KW systems, which is your KW Command, your KW Command app, your KW Connect, and your mykw.com platform. Now, that's great. If you're in My KW, that means you already know what your password is, so you can change it. If you don't know what your password is and you need to change it, okay, then what you actually would do, find the right page, I'm going to log out of this real quick, is you actually would go to agent.kw.com. Agent, put this in chat, agent.kw.com. Okay, that'll bring you to this screen. And on that screen, you're going to have your user ID, which you guys should all know at that point, right? And then you've got your password. Now, if you saved your password in here, and you can get in, then you can always click the little I, and the I will tell you what the password is. If you forgot your password, then you click forgot password, and then it sends a password reset to that reset email address that we just put in the system. You log in, you change your email, you're good to go. It may take a little bit to cycle through, but it usually happens pretty rapidly, but it depends on bandwidth of where you are. So those are the big things about My KW. Email, profile, and change of password. And once you do all those things, once you can, and some of you will email me at some point and be like, hey, I'm working on my profile on my mykw.com. I'll show you. Right, because next to your picture, once you filled all that information as much as you can, it's going to say, hey, you're 100%. Here's a funny story. They changed some of the dynamics on there. We like to make competition of things. Right, we want you to compete against yourself and the others. You're actually going to see your picture and it's going to say a profile percentage. Is your profile complete? Now mine says, 100%. I've been with the company for a while. So some of the data that's actually on this profile page, you don't see. And I don't remember which one it is, but one of them isn't there anymore. That was weighted 5 percentage points. So actually all new agents, the highest percentage you can get is actually 95%. Never fails. I teach this class. I always get an email because there's always somebody going, got to be 100%. What am I missing? I'm telling you, you're not. The highest you can get is actually 95%. So don't worry about that. All right. Any questions on mykw.kw.com before I move on to the next applet? Fill this out. This is part of your action steps. Complete your profile. Fill this out as best you can. Make sure you have email access. Make sure you add that Gmail to your phone, right? Add that Gmail to your desktop. Forward if you need to forward. Ask for help from your Market Center Tech Center if any of this is not sure. But remember, this is always recorded, so you can go back. Bingo. So Barbara gets me. Barbara gets me. Thank you, Brittany. Thank you for not making me a liar. Brittany doesn't know what I'm talking about. Anybody want to enlighten Brittany why I said bingo?
Somebody always asks.
After I told the answer.
At the very
Right off of
beginning,
that.
he said, somebody always asks, where can I get it or is it recorded?
Right. And the answer is I haven't given you the answer yet. I just told you that it is. But it also tells you that means Brittany was late. Right, Brittany? Or she wasn't listening, one or the other. One of those two things, just saying. I'll get you, I promise you, I will fill that in for you. It's all good. I have fun. If I can't have fun at this, then I'm in the wrong job. And sometimes having fun is at somebody else's expense. It's all good. Now, we'll give you the answer to that, I promise. All right, so I'm going to shut down mykw.com because we're finished with that now. But I want to make sure, is there any other questions there? All right, got 45 minutes to wrap this up, and we will finish on time, I assure you. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my deck page. All right. Oh, she's one of yours, huh, Barbara? It's all good. You either get to know me, love me, or hate me. That's okay. I'm good. I own it. My KW, we just covered all that. Now we're going to cover what I call Connect. KW Connect is a second platform that KW launched that is not yet fully integrated with Command, but I want you to think about it like this. If my KW was the first platform we rolled out, we're transitioning away from that, right? That's a legacy system we're moving on from, which takes time. KW Connect was the first replacement they started to put in place, or enhancement to that. In all intents and purposes, if you think of KW Connect, it's very much like our own personal YouTube channel, okay? You have to have your KW credentials to log in. We share a lot of live training that's hosted by KWRI. It's not like I do here in my regional level. It's strictly from KWRI. And I'm going to walk you through some of the most important things, but what you're going to see is that you can actually get lost for days in there, if not months. I don't want you to become a professional student. I want you to become a business owner. So take your time, be selective. But I'm going to show you some of the most important elements. But I do want you to all log in now to kwconnect.com. With your KW user ID and password, okay? I'll bring that up for you all. So when you get into Connect, KW Connect, this is what you're going to see, okay? kwconnect.com. You'll come in on the home page, and the first thing you're going to see is like, hey, is there any live training going on right now? Remember, I'm doing this at the local level, not at the KWRI level. It'll say, hey, what's streaming? Boom. There might be something live going on right now. Here's what I'm going to encourage you to do. We're going to talk a lot over the next couple of weeks about being organized, right? Using your calendar, being protective of your calendar, right? What does that look like for you? Are you attending training? If you put something on your calendar to do and attend, you have to ask yourself this question. If something else pops up, is it worth replacing? Now, as a new agent, because I've been there, you're always going to say yes. If somebody calls me, I'm dropping everything and I'm going. There's no right or wrong there. Ask yourself this. Is it okay to say, hey, can I do it at 10 instead of 9? You have to tell them why. Just tell them you're busy. Don't let the calendar steer you. You control your world. Right? If you don't think the training was important enough to go to, okay. But if it was and you put it on your calendar, then ask yourself, is it important to not go? Only you can answer that. I can't tell you the answer to that. Only you can answer that. So certain trainings are important. So give them the credence, okay? You could actually go in here. We're going to show you. There's a live stream calendar. So what I tell people to do, I used to do it on Sundays, but I had to adjust myself to Fridays because I was just too exhausted on Sunday nights to do any work. But whatever wrap up of the previous week or kick off of the following week does need to be on your calendar. If it's 7 o'clock Sunday night, or if it's 4:30 at the end of the day Friday, I don't know what that is. You should block some time to set yourself up for success for the following week. And part of that success is what trainings are you going to attend? Are there trainings at the regional level? Are there trainings at your market center level? Are there trainings at the KWR level? The answer to that is probably yes to all three. What's important for you to attend? As a new agent, it's hard. You're like, I got all this training. Ask questions, talk to people. Where should I be? Okay, it's okay. But the live content schedule the KWRI provides, we'll put things out a couple weeks out. So you can build your calendar around trainings you want to attend. Your market center is going to have a monthly calendar. So you can build your calendar a month out or a week out and know where you need to be and when. Now, the cool thing about KWRI, some of these are tech classes, some of them are just business classes. Some of them are inspirational classes. We fit a lot of niches. And then on the left, you see Connect Live on Demand. So we record almost everything. And usually within about 72 hours, they'll be posted. So if you decided you wanted to go but couldn't go, live is typically always better because you can ask questions. Or you can ask questions at KWRI events too, not just local. But you can go back and watch a previous recording. So if you have to miss it, you can go back and watch. Most of them are recorded, not all, but most. So that's step one I wanted to show you, okay? That's the calendar. All right, so that's also, so you've got calendar and live training, they take you to the same place. We like redundancies. Resources is what I'm going to show you next. And again, there's a third redundancy, Connect Live calendar, because we don't, people ask that one too. Where's the training calendar? It's everywhere. Literally is everywhere. Welcome new associates. That's you if you're new. Or maybe it's you if you're new to Command. You've been with KW, but maybe Command is new to you. So there is a welcome new associates link right here. Again, remember, I'm putting these links in chat for you, but I'm also going to give them to you at the end of for the slides, right? You're going to have all those. Kick off your experience. Everything we're going to talk about the next week is here. Some of you like to work at a different pace, whether that's faster or slower. I don't know. So there's a lot of answers and links, reaffirmation, FAQs for everything I'm talking about, provided you by the KWRI level. New Associates Essentials. Take time to scroll through this. I might have missed something. We teach classes once a month. I think I get most of the high level stuff, but sometimes, depending on the mood, I might just miss something. This is an awesome thing for you to index, bookmark, and go to regularly. So that's under resources. Welcome new associates, okay? Now, if I scroll down, you'll see, I'll highlight a couple other things that are important. You're going to hear things about KWRI events. You can always see that here, events. Mega agent leadership, family reunion, bold, ignite, different types of trainings that we're doing that are big ticket in-person events. So you can always look at events and see what's happening on in the KW universe. KWU, if you're an instructor, you want to be an instructor, you can get certified. There's information about that. Marketing, there's a right way and a wrong way to market yourself. There's a 33-page document there that tells you the right way to use the KW. We're all about you branding yourself, but there are local regional restrictions that affect how you market yourself, even if you're a team. So KW kind of gives you some direction of how to incorporate our brand with your personal brand. Make sure you don't get in trouble. So that's under marketing. Under technology, there's a command your business and command your market. I'll show you them both. Command your business. Okay, is a step-by-step, more micro level video tutorial than what we're doing right now. Mine is a 1-hour overview that you can go back and watch, pause, rewind. Cool. For those of you that need more micro, you can go to Command Your Business. Learn more and recorded trainings. And most of these training videos are chunked down to 10 minutes or less of bite-size editable bunches. So you can always go back here and get more specific about what we're talking about, that you just need a little bit more oomph. Remember, I said there's always multiple ways to get information, either from me, from my recordings, from your Market Center Tech Trainer, from your local level leadership. I'm going to introduce you to a fact-based system because some people like to read versus watching videos. We give you the platform that works best for you. So just choose. The most important thing is knowing how. Where do I get information? Being that advocate that I talked about at the top of the hour is incredibly important, because here's what a lot of people will fall back on, is that they won't advocate for themselves. They won't do the research. They won't utilize the tools that we're giving them. And they just think, hey, I'm going to pick up and call David, or I'm going to pick up and call Jerry, or I'm going to pick up and call Harry. You might not reach us in the time frame that you are hoping. I'm usually pretty good about responding to emails, but it may be 24 hours. And if it's over the weekend, chances are it's not going to be till Monday. That's just, my weekends are booked, right? And a lot of those questions, when I follow up, because I didn't follow up right away and I learned this over time, oh, I figured it out. But for some reason, people just want to ask the question. Try it, do it, figure out, research it. Then if it's broken or something's off or skewed, you're still not sure, sure, ask for help. And I'm going to show you other platforms where to get the help too, because there's more than just this. But you got to be that self-advocate. You know, calling somebody at 10 o'clock on a Sunday morning because you don't know how to create a flyer for your open house that you haven't won. If you didn't go to training and you didn't set yourself up for success before that time on Sunday, I don't want to be unsympathetic to that, but you're going to have trouble reaching people. Is that fair? Right? You have to be proactive to yourself. You got to set yourself up for success. It is your business. Think things through. Right? We will always help those when we can. We just can't take your emergencies and make it ours. Go to the proper trainings. That's why it's important that you guys are here. I've had people say, hey, I'm not going to go to training. I'm just going to schedule one-on-ones. No, you're not. If you haven't come to my trainings, I know it. You don't get on my calendar unless you've been to the fundamental basic trainings. I can't do it. I have 4,382 people in the region to kind of oversee. I can't just be answering password email reset questions all the time. It happens. Or the ones too. It happens all the time. So I don't want to be harsh about that. And I don't want you to not ask the question. You're new. There's a lot of forgiveness at new. But it also says a lot when you say, hey, Dave, I can't figure this out. I looked it up here, and I'm not seeing it. Great. But if you just ask me the things that I know is right there, it's hard. So do I get your forgiveness up front to say, hey, be an advocate for yourself? You guys okay with that? Thank you. Thank you. All right. Now, so that's technology. This is KW Connect. You literally can get lost in here. There's a lot of information in here. Under communities, you'll hear about things like luxury, new homes, and new construction, and sports and entertainment. Don't worry about that right now, especially if you're new to the business. You'll hear enough about it. Technology, training, resources, command your business, command training and resources. You know, it's just another avenue of different level presentation of jumping to specific topics. You know, what you're looking for today. It's really just an overwhelming or overriding system to take you in a lot of the same places, but people's minds are wired differently. So KW Connect, think of it as YouTube and leverage for training for yourself, provided to you from KWRI and other people just like me who have invested interest in you being successful. Thanks, Barbara. Poor planning on your part does not make it an emergency on my part. It's a harsh reality. I don't like to say no. It actually causes anxiety in me to say no to people. But it was something that as I scaled my job and what I was doing, I had to learn to say no. I had to, because it just was, my wife used to get really, really upset at me, even when I was selling real estate, that I would let so upset and so passionate about what was going on that I would try to put out everybody's fires all the time. But they weren't fires, but I felt that they were, or somebody tried to make them mine. That's a hard thing. That's a learned behavior. And John, thanks for being vulnerable with that. And Barbara, be honest, it's learned. It's okay to say no. It is okay to say no, or not right now, right? That's what no means, right? Not right now. Or you may get a response from me or somebody else pointing you in the direction of where to get what you're looking for. Now, and before we jump into Connect, and I'll show you some more things over the next half hour, I'll tell you this. Usually the questions fall into 3 buckets, okay, around business, whether it's command or just real estate business in general. It's usually 3 buckets that where agents are struggling with. First, they're asking a question about something that either is trained or they haven't been trained on yet, because either they didn't attend training or they just haven't gotten there yet. It's a training question. That's 80% of the questions that we deal with on the support level. They're training questions. How to, where can I? That's okay. We'll get to those answers. The second one is you might be looking for the system to do something that it doesn't do yet. Okay, so that's what we call a feature request. There may be shortcuts or workarounds, and here's how we accomplish that because the system doesn't do that yet. That's great because that means you're asking questions because you understand the fundamental questions of how to do more. I love those questions. That lets me know that you're working in and on your business and you're pushing the envelope and you're trying to do more. I love that. Third is something's wrong. It might be broken. Whether it's you, us, or a third-party integration partner, something might not be functioning. You're going to see things online. There are groups on Facebook. There's postings in your market center where we'll say, hey, there's an outage or something's down or we're aware of a functionality challenge. Okay. I'll have to check that out. Look, I'm getting ready to launch a podcast on my own too. So I'll have to check that out. It's cool. I choose to be happy. And one of the this is how to say no. If you would share the link for that, I would love to see that. I would absolutely love to see that. As a future wannabe podcaster, I have my first 4 episodes recorded. They're just not released yet. So what was I saying? I completely got off track there. What was I saying? Anyways, get help. Nowhere to get help. I guess that's where I'm summarizing.
How to say no?
How to say no. Awesome. All right. So now you know some of the places to go. There's more. I'm going to give you more. There's no lack of places to get help. All right. So we covered mykw.kw.com. We covered kwconnect.com. Any questions on those 2 platforms yet? Or on anything that I've covered? All right. Fantastic. Now we're going to jump into KW Command. Command is where you're going to spend the majority of your time. Command is your platform. Command is your everything. Some people say, hey, is Command a database? Command has a database. Is Command a CRM? Command has a CRM. Command is everything in your world. It's the platform that you will run your business on. The most important elements of that is your database, which I will call data bank. We'll talk to that in a little bit more detail. And it sounds generic, but do you know why I call it the data bank? It's where the money is. Right? Your database, your data bank is only as valuable as the information that you put in it and how regularly you leverage that in your world and talk to people. We'll hammer that home in a lot of detail tomorrow. But here's what I want you to do now. I want you to log into Command. Agent.kw.com. Agent.kw.com. Just follow along, your choice. But agent.kw.com. That's where you're going to go to Command. So bookmark that puppy, right? Again, I'll send you all those. I'm going to give you a quick little walking tour. If you haven't seen this before, great. If you have seen this before, give me a couple minutes to walk everybody through. You might learn something. So when you first log in, you're going to land on this dashboard. Okay. And on the left-hand side, you notice that I click the red KW, it pops out the applet names, right? Remember we talked about platform and phone similarities, right? So our applets. Or if I don't pop the red KW out, if I hover over it, it tells me what it is. Until you get used to the little icons of what they mean. First come in, you're always going to land on this page.
Hey,
Well,
David, can you share your screen, please?
Ah, thank you. See, my faux pas. All right, there we go. Everybody see my screen okay? Thank you. All right.
Yep.
So here's the red KW in the upper left. It pops in and it pops out where I can hover over the names of these applets, right? When you're new, it's probably best just to punch it out. Home is your dashboard. That's where you're going to land. Right below that is contacts. Contacts is your data bank. Some people call it a CRM, okay? Tasks. What do I have to do today? Who do I need to call? Who do I need to email? What do I have to do to move this contract forward? Do I got to call a lender? Do I got to call the title company? Do I got to call signups or signposts? What do I have to do today? It's important. Smart plans. How do I communicate with people and come from value, contribution, purposeful, but allow the technological leverage to do things for me that I don't necessarily have to manage every day? It's called smart plans. Some of you might know them as drip campaigns. Okay, it's leverage, 36 touch, 52 touch. How are we communicating? How regularly are you communicating with somebody? How deliberately are you communicating with somebody? That matters. Are you sending cookie recipes and, hey, it's time to clean the gutters? Or you're saying, hey, values are going up, values are going down. Have you refied? Is it time to consider buying versus selling, right? Hey, I heard that your company is relocating. Do I need to help you? Hey, I saw on Facebook that your family is growing. What do I need to do to help? Hey, I saw that you were looking for a painter. I got a guy, right? Social media is an incredible avenue we're going to talk more about tomorrow to get an insight of what's going on in your world of your consumers. Referrals. I need to send a referral to another agent in California. Every one of you has a profile on the referrals page. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, probably today or tomorrow, probably more tomorrow, about how does somebody find you online if they want to pass you a referral and they're in California and they want to find an agent in Virginia. Your complete profile matters. I have skipped over top agents in areas that had incomplete online bios and passed off referrals to brand new agents because I was able to see that they did what they were supposed to do to jumpstart their business. So don't overlook the amount of transactions that you do as gold. It's not. Campaigns, pay-per-click advertising, Facebook pages, Instagram, Twitter, Google Ads. You should not build your business in pay-per-click advertising. We will talk about this. You need to build relationships. I am actually going on tour per se. I'm going out to different market centers. I'm teaching a class called How to Recession-Proof Your World Through Relationships. Now, that's somewhat true, but if you actually are in relationship with people in your world, you will always have business. The levels of business will vary depending on the marketplace, but you will always have business if you are deliberately in relationships. If you are leveraging your world and you're building your business on cold leads, Facebooks, telemarketing, that's a 1 to 3 conversion expensive thing. You will find yourself out of business very quickly. So work with your PC coaches to build up your business. I think Harry bailed on me, but he would understand where I'm coming from on that. Reports are reports. How do you get data about what's going on in your world? Designs, creating flyers, marketing, right? Social media posts, print magazines, listings, buyers, postcards. We have it all, right? That's all under designs. It's kind of like our own little personal Canva, if you're familiar with Canva. Okay. Jeb's getting us all some coffee. Listings. We have all your listings and we have all of KW's listings and we have all the MLS listings at your disposal, which means when you start inputting databases and communicating with people, you're going to be able to send listings to them directly from command and through their mobile app versus having to send them a listing through the MLS. And the reason that's valuably important is because it all funnels back to your database and you know their activity, right? Big Brother is watching. That's a value for you. It's weird, but that's the world that we're in. That's a better way to do your business. Consumer, your mobile app, your website is something that's available to you to use as you should leverage for your consumer experience, right? When we talk about that, your mobile app and your website, it's like Netflix, right? You guys know you log into Netflix on your phone, you're watching something, you stop, you log out, you go home, you go into the apps on your TV, you reload Netflix and you pick up where you left off, right? Our consumer applications function the same way. If they're looking at something on your mobile app and they save it, and I'm going to come back to it later, and then they hop on their desktop and they're looking at your website, it remembers where they were because they have an account and all talks to each other. So we call that the Netflix experience. So that at a very high level are all the applets that you have at your disposal. Okay. Now, in order to leverage those things, there's setup. And every day this week, we're going to talk about each one of these things, probably 2 a day, and show you how to use them, set them up, launch them, and benefit. Okay. This first page here is the home page. It's your dashboard. This is your first experience of customizing your experience. So on the upper right-hand side, you all see the customize home button? Does everybody see that? Might be behind my picture. Minimize my picture. Customize home. I want you to click on that, please. Okay, because this is going to be an experience that you're going to get familiar with of how to edit pages for different things. On the left, you're going to see what we call widgets, things that are available to you on your homepage. You can turn them on by checking them on and off. And then when you click them on or off, on the right-hand side, you'll see these little boxes. When you see those 6 ellipses, some people call them meatballs, that means that's drag and drop. I can move the order of these boxes. Okay. And when I hit apply, it changes my home display. If you notice that, but my widgets, my boxes moved around because I just told it to. So you play with it. How do you want your display to be? Unique to you. That's one of the great things about Command is it's customizable. What do you want to know? Well, first thing you do, what are all these boxes? I'll give you a quick synopsis. Okay. Tasks. What do I have to do today? Right. That'll be right on your home screen. Also be on your Command mobile app. Product updates. What updates has Command released? KWI has released for Command over the last couple of weeks. We tell you. We don't want to be in the dark about it. I want you to know. We tell you what we changed, and if there's a educational tool, there'll be a hyperlink in there. Plus, your marketing secretary is going to teach you about it. Did you set goals for your business? Where are you against those goals? Are there new design elements? We've got over 2,500 design elements. Every holiday's got new designs. Every magazine, once a quarter, we roll out. You get new magazines. We'll talk about that in designs on Wednesday. Notepad. Well, Notepad's a notepad. We're all kind of used to that, taking notes. You can do that on your homepage. Recent leads. Is there somebody new in your world that you don't know yet and you haven't connected with yet? Have you run a Facebook advertising and people click through and come into your database that is now constituted a lead? Or are they? We'll tell you. And activity tracking. What are you doing every day in your business, and are you holding yourself accountable to it? It's a great tool, a great widget for solo agents that may have a coach or a PC person they're working with, or somebody that's on a team where the Rainmaker or PC coach is working with them to track their daily activity. How many people did I call? How many appointments did I have? Did I have a good day? Did I have a bad day? What did I do? Right? So you can track that activity. So that's your dashboard. Okay. Now across the top, you see Command, Connect, and Command MC. Well, some of you won't see Command MC. That's leadership stuff. Command is where you're going to spend the majority of your time. This Connect widget is not the full version of KW Connect yet. There's some things, feel free to go in there and check around, search around, get comfortable with it. That's where we're transitioning Connect to. I will still tell you your best benefit is going KW Connect directly for now, while we continue to transition to Connect. So I'm okay if you don't necessarily go in here yet, but Command is where you predominantly will be. And for most of you, you won't see Command NC unless you are in a leadership position in your market center. Now, across the top, you're going to see a word that says Marketplace. I'm not going to cover that today. It's going to be a future version for you, but this is where we will show, but feel free to jump in there. Other platforms that we engage with, other trainings, things that are free for you guys, other platforms that we integrate with that can plug into Command. Like it's like your app store. Or who else do we do business with that could be beneficial to you? There's free things and there's pay-per-click. I like the Mark Center Tech Trainers kind of highlight some of those things at the local level. We may touch on some of that during the week, but feel free to take a look at anything. But I highly encourage you not to buy anything until you're clear on what you're signing up for. Next to that is a little notifications bell. Is there something you need to know about? Did somebody email you? Did somebody text you? Did you get a new registrant? Right? That's what the little bell with the red dot means. And the cool thing is those notifications push through to your Command mobile. Everything I'm showing you right now on your dashboard, tasks, contacts, phone calls, notifications, opportunities, right? Tasks, all that shows up on your phone. You get push notifications. Hey, you got a new registrant. Hey, you got a new contact. Hey, so-and-so is trying to get for you. Or if you call somebody, okay. Hey, I called John today. Would you like to record that? Make a record that you called John? Yes. That way you keep contact of everything that's going on in your world. It only knows what you feed it, right? So the Command mobile app is the on-the-go version of KW Command. That's why it's important that you have. So when you get comfortable with this and then you open it up on your phone, you're going to see everything's right there. It looks very similar to this. Some limitations, we're adding more and more to it, but it's all there. You're going to see your name under your drop-down window. Okay, I'm going to come back to that in a second. And then you see a little question mark. I want you all click on the question mark. Everybody pop that window open. Digital thumbs. All right. What you see are guided tours, KW University, and chat with support. You can chat with support, but I will tell you, usually waiting online for support is backed up because when people chat with support because they think something's broken, usually what it is a training element and it backlogs support with a lot of training questions. So I will tell you to always either A, advocate for yourself or reach out to your Market Center Tech Trainer so you can get clarification or team leader or PC or ASC or somebody before you necessarily sit in a queue, right? We all have experienced that at different things. Sitting in the queue can take a while, right? It's a bot. It'll try to answer your questions. It'll preemptively give you information that it thinks you're looking for. You'll get frustrated because that's what we do. No, I want to talk to somebody. I want to talk to somebody now. You're going to be in a queue. So try to troubleshoot as best you can for yourself. Okay, that's chat. Post an idea was exactly what I told you earlier. Gary, Carl, and Chris, every Monday, will look at what are agents asking for. The more you get comfortable with command, you're going to have ideas. And they'll say, and we tell you and encourage you to go to ideas.kw.com. You can also bookmark that, ideas.kw.com. And I'll send you that link too, but I'll post it in chat. Where you can go in and either search, you think you have a unique idea, you can search for that topic, see if somebody else has suggested it already, vote that up, right? See video capability, something we're working on, that's voting on, right? And then KW will look at these and then they will rank these. And then they will tell you, hey, are they recent? Are they new? Are they trending? And then they'll post updates to them. Are they in process? Is it being researched? Is it being labbed? We're very transparent about what we're trying to do. Agents love the ability to provide insight and ideas to make the platform better for themselves and for everybody else. That's what makes this company great. So that is a great thing for you, right? Now, let me come back to, there we go. The only thing I didn't cover here yet was guided tours. So guided tours are what I call the purple bubbles. So it'll show you applets that we have training tutorials around already built into the system. If I literally just click on contacts, which we'll walk through tomorrow, it'll say, what are you interested in learning about? Hey, I want to know how to import contacts. It'll jump to that page in the system, and it'll start popping up purple bubbles. And the purple bubbles say, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, to know how to do that. And it's a great way to learn the platform the first time you walk through it. And when we make improvements and updates to the system, you may see purple bubbles just pop up on your screen because we want you to know that something's new. It looks just like this. Do you want to import contacts, which is going to be part of your action steps? I'm going to walk through this, and then you're going to get some of this information. You're going to go to contacts, which was the second applet down, right? Remember? Click the import button. Okay. Click continue. Oh, I got to upload a file, or I need to download this template. But those purple bubbles talk you through everything. So now, while I'm here, I actually want you to do this right now. I want you to all click on the red KW in the upper left-hand side. I want you to all go to the second applet, which is contacts, and click it, please. Okay. And then on the right-hand side, you see the word import. Does everybody see the word import? Right. We went to the contacts. We go to the word import. When you click on the word import, you're going to get this window. On the right-hand side, it says download template. So I click the word download, and what I get is an Excel spreadsheet. I'm going to bring this on the screen. I get this Excel spreadsheet. Now I'm going to email this to you too, but I want you to know where to download it if you want to get a head start before you get my email this afternoon. It's an import spreadsheet. If you're an Apple person, you got to use Excel. Numbers doesn't work. Numbers doesn't play nice. So use Excel. We're rolling out a new CSV import file that we'll have later, but I want you to start with this because most of you don't have a database yet. If you're moving from another database, talk to your Market Center Tech Center before you do anything. If you have all your database in an Excel spreadsheet or a CSV file, talk to your Market Center Tech Center because we can show you how to work with that. If you don't have anything anywhere, this is what you're going to want to do. This is best practice. The spreadsheet, do not delete any of these rows or columns. Even if they don't apply, because you see like country code, don't delete them because they map. They map to where they need to go. What I want you to do, part of your action steps today, is put like 10 people on a list. First name, last name, home address, cell phone, primary number. Okay. Significant others, right? If they're a significant other, you have to put them on two separate lines. You can't put Mr. and Mrs. Smith, right? Do David Smith on line 3 and Mary Smith on line 4 and put their information. It cannot separate two contacts into a Mr. and Mrs. It just doesn't work that way at the moment. Names, addresses, all that kind. And the cool thing at the end, you're going to see notes. So you can put in 250 characters worth of notes. about that person if you want that to import. Then we also have social media connections, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Instagram. So basically what that means, if I was on Facebook, right, that's usually what most people are. And tomorrow I'm going to show you how to actually export from Facebook to get birthdays and their bio pages. But you can actually copy and paste their unique domain names for each of those people and connect that to command. There's real value in that. Tomorrow we'll talk to more detail about why, but I want you to just build out this platform as best as you can. Like I said, get like 10 people. I say 10, some people do 100. I say 10, some people do 1. It's on you. I want you to get comfortable with what we're doing when we talk about importing tomorrow, okay? But download this form, look at this form. We're going to talk about tags. Tags are important. It's another action step for you, okay? I want you to start thinking about, okay, if I'm filling in this form, how do I know these people? What do they have in common with me? Okay, we'll spend time tomorrow hammering this out in detail, but I'd like you to start penciling this out today. Do you know them from church? Do you know them from high school? Do you know them from college? Do you know them from a previous places of employment? Do you know them, if you have kids, do you know them from soccer, little league, hockey, right? Martial arts, axe throwing, whatever. How do you know these people? And do you know enough people to create a bucket that if I wanted to filter people by a specific topic, that I could do it? Now, for most people, that'll come in the concept of previous clients, right? Bought, sold, current buyer, past client, like those things will make common sense to you. And some of those are actually already in the system, and I'll show you where those are. But I want you to start thinking about what do people have in common and be consistent with those tags, right? So when we load everybody, people could have multiple tags too, right? Some of you may hear about Buffini systems, right? That's just, are they A's, B's, and C's, red, yellow, green, top 100, whatever. You can build all those tags in the system. So pencil that out for you, and we'll get more clarity around that tomorrow. But download that form, and we'll talk about uploading and importing that form tomorrow. The other thing that's an action step for you is that there's one more profile that I want you to start working on. Say it's your KW Connect profile. Now, I don't like the way this is mapped out. However, I'm not a coder or a programmer. This is what we have right now. It's very misleading and confusing when you actually see the word profile here. That is a profile, and that is your second profile, right? It is your referral profile that other agents will see. We will talk to this, although we will not talk to that tomorrow. But what's important that I want you to start on now is what I call your marketing profile. Your marketing consumer profile. And that lives under settings, okay? I actually go to settings, follow along. Give it a second to load. I'm getting a lot thrown at you today. Day one's usually the most like, whoa. You get there. Give yourself time, right? You're not going to learn this in a week. Repetition is the key, right? For everything that we do. Over and over and over again. That's what's going to make you stronger. Okay, streaming and slowing down, hitting the wheels, parking brakes on. Come on. All right. When you get to the settings page, on the left-hand side, it says connect settings. Connect settings. Yeah, it's usually tabs, but that's not even a lot of tabs, to be honest. But you're not wrong. Connect settings. Marketing profile is your marketing profile that will publish to your website, which will publish to emails, which will go to designs and flyers, right? So you want to start building this out. You're going to want to upload your photo, which they do say is required, right? So you're going to need to get a professional headshot. Talk to your market center. A lot of market centers will bring somebody in, get somebody to take one for you. I think you all owe it to yourself to invest in a professional headshot. They can be anywhere between $65 and $100. Heck, in the meantime, you could use these cameras are great. Have a friend that's a photographer, amateur, shutterbug, whatever. Get yourself some professional images that scale from like DPI, which is pixel count, like 150 all the way up to like 2000. because depending on where you're placing them things and resizing is important. So you're going to want a couple of different versions. Heck, maybe different outfits. Those are important things to have. Okay. Team logo. If you're on a team, they're going to provide you with the team logo. Your details, your contact information, just fill in the blanks. If you're in the military, put that in here. I love this. We added this a couple of months ago, about 2 months ago. And it says active military, reserves, veteran, military spouse, right? Spouses are important too. And then you say what branch of service, and where that comes in handy is that you're going to be able to filter out your database of agents. And maybe you want to connect with somebody else that was in the Army or the reserves or Air Force or significant other that's a spouse, right? There's really some exciting things in some of the partnerships we do and recognize around the military. So I love that. Another place for your bio, right? We talked about bio on the MyKW page, which is your consumer facing bio. Over time, you will actually have 2 different distinct bios. One is your story that the consumers will digest. The longer you're in the business, you'll actually develop what I'll call an agent to agent bio, which will incorporate things that you've done with KW. Maybe you went to Bold, maybe you became an ambassador, right? Maybe you're on the ALC, maybe you're a trainer, instructor, you've been to family reunion or mega camp, or you've taught Ignite. Those are all things that to KW agents mean something, but to the general public mean absolutely nothing. So you are actually able to build a KW referral-based platform profile that talks to what you've done within KW. That means something to agents. That means something completely different to consumers who care about all those other things that we talked about, where you're from, how do we connect, and over time, your language of real estate, which is your transactional-based history. So think about 2 different types of bios that you will develop over time. Market Center logos, or Market Center will provide those to you. You can get those, right? Their address, legal footer and compliance. Get used to this. Everybody has to have this in just about everything. Each office is independently owned and operated. Each office is independently owned and operated. You do not need a legal footer. You will be able to put your social media links, which will stream across, right? You do want to have a Facebook business page. You may or may not have Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. Doesn't matter to me. And at the bottom, this asks you for a Google Analytics ID. And I'm going to make this very, very simple for you. If you know what this is, go ahead and put your number in there. If you don't know what this is, you really don't need to worry about it now. Right? We don't get a lot of SEO performance out of our systems. So don't worry about it. I know it's a simple answer, but it's facts. If you know what it is, run with it. If you don't trip up over it. And then when you're done completing this out as best you can, there's a little toggle on the upper right-hand side that you turn on and off. Make sure you turn this on, because what that will allow this information to do is stream across to everything else, right? Your app, your website, your email platform, or your KW Command email platform, when we start talking about that tomorrow, any marketing pieces that you develop, your smart plans, your digital twin will start to show up and make your business a little bit easier. So with that, we are done on the dot at 10:59. Pretty amazing that this is the first time I've done this and I'm actually done on time, right? No, I'm just kidding. I've done this hundreds of times. 2 things I didn't share with you yet. What was it? Do you guys remember that I promised that I would give you today?
Where to get the recordings?
Where do you get the recordings? Thank you. So I'm going to pop the link for you, but I'm also going to show you where to. So if you go to YouTube or Region 12 KW, you'll find our YouTube channel. I'm going to post it here, the link for you into chat. You can just click on that and it's going to land on the playlist page. So basically what I do is I record every one of these trainings that we do all week and I put them into a playlist by month. So every month has its own playlist. You can go back and watch previous sessions if necessary, because you want to get ahead, right? And like I said, sometime tomorrow we'll have today's. We're usually about 24 hours behind. So you'll see that here. So if you subscribe to the channel here, every time we make a posting, you'll get a notification that, hey, there's a new posting to the KW Region 12, the Virginia's website. Okay, so that's the link that I promised you all to get, where you will be able to watch these recordings. Secondly, we have a Facebook page. I'm going to post this into the channel or into chat for you. Okay, facebook.com. You can search by kw.va.wva. I got to rename it actually, because we're now the Virginias. We're not VA, West Virginia, and we're actually the Virginias. So I have to update that a little bit. Follow this page. It's going to ask you when you join, it's going to ask you a couple questions. So it's going to ask you for who your team leader is. It's going to ask you for your market center number, just so we can authenticate who you are. And then it'll join and we'll approve you, right? And then what you can do from this page is ask questions. Other agents will answer you. I'll answer you. You can answer each other's if you know the answers. I'll post updates. I'll post the recordings. I post fresh trainings. If there's new updates for command that you need to know about. I post if there are outages in the system that you need to know about. So some days and others are more information, right? That we put in. Here's what I do ask. And this happens to people sometimes. They get overzealous and they want to say, I got an open house. I got an open house. Okay. Don't post open house information here. Don't advertise yourself on here. I'll take it down. Right. There's rules in here that says, hey, you understand. This is about technology. This is about command. This is about your platform. I want it to be easy for you, but I'm not going to have it advertised and messed up that way. So I will take things down. I'll send you a little love note and say, hey, we don't advertise our listings in here. We're good? Everybody fair with that? So follow that channel. During the week, I'll give you other channels that I think you'll find valuable. We can go and get information. You can always search, right? If you literally just search for KW Command on Facebook, you will actually see multiple pages that are dedicated to chat rooms around command. There's a lot of them. There's a KW Command chat room, right? There's KW Help and Technology Mastermind. There's Command for Teams. There's Facebook Lead Mastering. There's a group called Branding Being Command. There's so much out there, guys. And you can do the same thing on YouTube. You'll see people like me and Marty Miller and Jay Cermak and Lori Ballin and Garrett Stewart, Ryan, all kinds of instructors and trainers that throw and spin on things and they train. So that kind of falls in that capacity. There are so many places for you to get help. And I just realized I forgot one other really important place. Answers.kw.com. So answers.kw.com. Then we can go back in this a little bit tomorrow because I want to keep you guys late. Put the link here, answers.kw.com. I want you to think of this. If KW Connect essentially is our version of YouTube per se, answers.kw.com is our Google. It is all things KW Command related, especially technology driven. And you'll see topics in here for app and command and teams. And if you're in leadership and things like that, you could search by articles. And if I literally just click on the command button here, it's going to break down command by applet and give you the most recent search or ask questions for FAQs. Some will have videos, but some will have step-by-step. Some will have GIFs about saying, hey, here's how you do these things. And they update them daily. Every time there's a change, they update these articles. So always go here and search for your questions by topic, because you're probably going to find it. That's it. That's all I have for you guys today. Is there anything I didn't answer or provide too much ambiguity around this class?
No, but I have a lot of homework to do.
Is that homework or action steps, right? You got to work on your business, but I appreciate you owning that. You get out of it what you put into it. You got to give yourself time. Don't let yourself be overwhelmed. I do not expect you guys to be masters at the end of this week. I expect you to be comfortable. That's what I hope for. I hope that you're comfortable. I hope we have a baseline in place for you guys of how to run some things. And then the repetition above and beyond that will make you masters of it. And who knows, maybe some of you will become instructors and trainers at it. That's how I started. I had a passion for training. And really that stemmed from the passion of knowledge, that if I wanted to learn something, I volunteered to train it. It may be a little bit warped, but that's how I got started. I volunteered to train on a subject that I wanted to learn about. And I felt if I was going to be in front of a class that I couldn't fake it, that I needed to go become a master at it. That's how I became an instructor. It's not for everybody, but it's for a lot of people. So we will see you all tomorrow at 9 o'clock. I'll be teaching. We'll be talking about command. Who wants to answer that question in chat? You can't be on phones with clients when I'm talking. It's all right, Amy. You'll see just above you, I posted inside of chat, there's a link to a YouTube channel. That's where all the recordings will go. Don't apologize. I have fun doing what I'm doing. It's all good. Oh, UHG, you know. All right, well, tell Teddy I said hi. But you guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you all tomorrow. Take action on your business. Get comfortable with things we're showing, and we're going to build on it each day, okay?
Sounds good. Thanks.
All right, take care.
Thank you.